I used to be the guy who would start working out for 2 weeks, then I would quit. I had so many excuses. I was too tired, I was too busy, and I didn't have the energy. I thought I was just a lazy person or I just didn't have the willpower. Then something happened that completely flipped the switch. And ever since then, I have never missed a single week of training. So if you keep making excuses, this is for you. I first discovered gym in a very, very random place. Let me tell you about this. I was about 17 years old. I think I was 18. I went for a party. It was my uncle's baby's birthday. Now, at that party, there were these aunties who pulled up. And they weren't my aunties. You know what I mean? Like the other aunties. My uncle's wife's cousins and sisters. They pulled up. They came for the party. They're bad. Like bad. They pulled up in like serious cars. Like sports cars. I'm like, what? They just pull up. I'm like, God damn. So I wanted to spend a bit of time around them because I was aura farming, basically. So I went to them. They were inside a room where the babies were. They were changing diapers and all that stuff. You know how it is, where the aunties be doing parties like kids' birthdays and stuff. They be inside the room changing diapers and stuff. So I just walked inside that room, and all of them just start complimenting me. Oh, he looks so handsome. He's so pretty. What? He's a pretty boy. Then one of them, the baddest in the room, she said this one thing that I never forgot ever since then. She said, "He would look so nice if he hit the gym." All of them started agreeing. Yes, yes, yes. I was like, what the hell? Yo, bro, my heart sunk. I literally felt, bro, I felt so bad. I felt horrible, right? They told me something. They exposed an insecurity. They exposed my weakness. Say, yeah, he would look much better if he hit the gym. What does that mean? That means I was too skinny. I was too skinny. Man, they don't even realize this. And I'm sure they're never going to watch this video. But they completely changed the way I look at my body. And that had an influence into me starting the gym about 2 years later. Because I said, at that time, I was about 17 or 18. And I started the gym at around 19. That was like a year later. That's when I started hitting the gym. They don't even realize the impact that they had on me, bro. Jesus Christ. Man, I felt bad. I didn't even think about the compliments they were giving me at first, because usually after you criticize somebody, people don't really think about the compliments. You give them before the criticism. I was just concerned on the criticism. I was like, man, I'm skinny, bro. I started to look at myself and I was like, oh, I'm skinny. Ah. But look at me now, bro. Look at this. You see this? I don't think I'm skinny anymore. Shout out to the aunties. Then another serious moment that concretized this whole fitness thing into my head was, there was this time I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw this one guy. Let me tell you about this guy. This guy was skinny back in high school. I don't know, I was following him because, you know, those days we just follow each other, all the people in the school. And he was so skinny back in high school. He had aura, but he was skinny, bro. He was skinny. But he still had rays. I don't know, like I'm using Gen Z slang now. Aura and rays. But this guy had rays, he had aura, he had everything. He was cool, but he was a skinny guy. Then I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw a photo of him where he was like, I was like, God damn! Guy is gotten beefy. Looking beefy, man. I was scared. I was like, what has this guy done? Steroids? Those days I didn't even know much about even steroids, or didn't even know about how much muscle you can make naturally. I didn't really know anything. I was just living like a normal person, like a regular human being. And I was like, whoa, this guy is big. So I hit him up. I'm like, yo, bro, how did you get this big? How did you do it? I was willing to humble myself. Yo, let me first tell you, man. Ever since then, I was not humble. I was not willing to ask for help. But then when I saw his transformation, I was like, yo, let me ask this guy. I DM'd him. I'm like, bro, how did you do this? He told me, bro, yeah, I just train. You know, I go to the gym, I lift weights. What? I was like, what? So do you have to eat like something? He's like, yeah, he uses protein, he eats protein. I think he also told me use the supplements. I don't remember all that stuff, but he told me all that, and he helped me get into the gym. Shout out to Jed. Jed, if you're watching this, shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much for putting me on, bro. There's always that one homie. Yo, there was always that one homie who put us on the right game. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jed. That was Jed. Jed's transformation inspired me. I was like, bro, if Jed can do it, I can also do it. Because I was his size when he started. And then he was just like Hulk. I was like, God damn, Jed. Looking beefy with those arms. Jesus Christ. Jed had arms. I don't know if Jed is still training like crazy, but I'm sure that guy can never give up. He's ambitious. Shout out to you, Jed. Now, there are 4 things that have helped me stay consistent ever since then, which are routine, mindset shifts, accountability, and environment. Now, let me break down for you how they've helped me stay consistent. Starting with routine. When I was just showing up to work out anytime that I wanted to, when I was just showing up when I felt motivated, when I was following motivation, I didn't see any gains. But then when I made a routine, using my Google Calendar, using my journal, when I actually solidified a routine, meaning something that I could commit to every single day, that's when I started to see real progress. That's when I started to make serious progress. And then when it comes down to the mindset shifts, for example, self-image, right? Go and watch that video I uploaded on self-image up there. Somewhere. Go and watch that video that I uploaded on self-image. If you see yourself as the kind of person who just misses the gym, who just shows up whenever he wants, who just, that kind of person, or you started working out, but you're not even taking other parts of your life seriously. Your self-image is what's helping you, what's stopping you from making your progress. It's what's stopping you from staying consistent on your journey. So I had to update my self-image using affirmations, visualizations, all these things that you've had before, and you're like, oh man, spiritual nonsense. No, bro, this stuff is real. Make sure you go watch that video that I've talked about. It will help you update your self-image. Now, when it comes to environment, that meant that I had to set up my environment for me to be more consistent. For example, I have a certain chair that I sit in when I need to do work, and when I need to draft my day or plan my day. I sit in that chair. Now, every time that I see that chair, I see my journal on that chair, I'm tempted to go and sit on that chair and open the journal. This is how I trick my mind using visual cues, using the environment to help me stay consistent. Now, that helps me stay consistent in my fitness, in that whenever I sit down and I pull out the journal and I write down what I'm supposed to be doing in my day, I will have to put in time for the gym. I will have to put in time to train. So that will keep me consistent, because I have tricked my mind into training by just going to sit on a chair. If you think about it, it's crazy. But this is so important. This is so important if you want to stay consistent. Another one is also putting your workout clothes somewhere specific where you will see them when you wake up in the morning. That can help you trick your mind to feel like, oh, let me put them on. And then when you put them on, you'll be like, oh, let me just get my bottle. When you get your bottle, you'll be like, oh, I'll get my headphones. Then you just step out. And that's a workout. It's like tricking your mind into taking the first step, because the first step is always the hardest step. But once you get past that first step, that's when you will make the progress that you need to make, and you will stay consistent. Then, when it comes down to accountability, accountability was, I started training with a couple of friends. I started training with people. I started training people as well. And I also started being trained by people. Meaning I had a coach, I was a coach, and I was also training with them. You know what I mean? Just like normally. That has made me so much progress ever since then. This is how I looked before, before I started doing all this. And this is how I looked after I started doing all this. Can you imagine? Look at that difference. Just look at that difference. It's quite the difference, if you ask me. Quite a clear difference. It's like day and night. So I made this into a solid plan about a year ago, and I've been using it to stay consistent, and I've never missed a single day of the gym. All of this is what I call the consistency blueprint, which I made into a proper system that will help you stop falling off and stay consistent in your fitness. It's inside of the Consistent Man community, which is the top link in the description. Now, like I had touched on earlier, if you still can't stick to the gym and you're still missing days of working out, then it's probably because your self-image is still capped. So watch this video that will help you update your self-image and stay more consistent this year.